Alright guys, so doing a little side work away from the drift car. I got this in the mail a little while ago. I got it for I think it was like 90 bucks on eBay. You can also find it at Jegs.com too. But yeah, got this. It's a ignition kill push to start with the accessory switches plate. So got all that. So I'm actually going to be working on hooking that up. So Mark, the buddy that's been helping me work on the drift car, he has his own YouTube channel, and he posted this on his YouTube channel specifically for this because he's been working on wiring this for my car. But since we didn't have any of this extra parts, so we had to hold off a little bit. But yeah, so what I'm doing now is from his video, basically what we need to do is start off with the power. So basically what we're going to do is with this amp, we're going to have it off to the side. The power is going to come from the battery where the ignition power switch is, so the red and white wire on a 300ZX. So I can actually show you here. I think it's in this bag. So here's the ignition where you put the key in. Okay, so the red and white wire on the ignition where you put your key in is right here, this red and white wire. So a lot of people were just splicing into this wire with this, but we're actually just gonna run it from the other connector that's actually hanging under the dash. So the part that this connects into, that's what we're splicing into. So we're just basically gonna cut the connector off and then splice into that. But hence the reason why we have this amp here. So we would take the red and white wire, cut it just like this. You guys can see, it's kind of hard to focus, but so cut it just like this, splice it open, put one of the connectors on. So the red and white wire, this wire, that's attached to the car, would connect into that on one side, and then we would connect this into one side. And then basically what that would do is you put a little eye hook on it, and then the eye hook would attach to over that, and then you would screw that down. So that would be connected to the amp. So then what you would do is you would run from the power wire one of these and bring it to your ignition kill switch. So your ignition kill switch is right here. So ignition kill. So you would just wire it right here on the bottom. So that would be your power coming from that to that. And then all you would do is to connect all the power supplies for each switch, all you would do is take two of these wires like this, twist them up, put them in an eye hook, and then connect them to each of these. So that's what I'm going to do right now, and I'll show you guys that when I'm done. Guys, so what I've done, so basically what I was talking about before was that you're just going to junction these wires to each individual spot here, and then this one jumps to here, and then what we'll do is we'll run another wire from here over into the fuse that will connect to the ignition red and white wire. This right here goes to the light, so the red light right here. This black wire, obviously the ground. I just made it a little bit longer just so if we have to ground it a little bit further away. But what we did is we connected it to the ignition kill switch right here. So basically when it's on, the light will turn on, and then when it's off, the light will turn off. So that's where I had it wired here, this yellow wire. So that's to the ignition kill switch, and then coming up through, comes up through to the light. The reason why we have this fuse here is just in case if the light's gonna go out or whatever, it'll actually just blow the fuse, it won't blow the light out. So that's why we have it's a little 20 amp fuse that goes in this little casing here. So just for extra precautions. And then from there, yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're when I get to the car, I'll actually show you guys what's going to wire to the push to start button, what color wires they will be, and what all these other wires will be coming from for like the fan, the fuel pump, the water pump, and the accessory switch for like the lights and such. So yeah, so that's it for right now. Alright guys, so we're in the car right now. So basically where we're thinking of mounting this switchboard, it's going to be right here. It actually fits like perfectly if we put it right in here. We just have to cut a little slit out of the plastic so the toggle switch can fit in. So it's like right there. So, and where the light is. So you just gotta cut this open and then drill like a little semicircle, and it'll fit perfectly like right there. So, looking at the wiring, so we're gonna let that sit like this. This is our ground wire. So now we need a wire that's going to go to where the ignition was, the ignition cable. So this is where the ignition is. I'm gonna have to cut this open and check out the black and yellow wire, the red and white, and there's a black and green and a blue. So I just need to cut that open, but what I'm gonna do first is measure out the length of what I'm gonna need and where I want to put my I would say breaker, like my little circuit for this. So just checking everything out, trying to see exactly where we'd want to mount it. All this stuff we're not gonna have to worry about. All this we don't have to worry about. That's from the heater and everything like that. So what we're looking at is where we're gonna mount. So honestly, I think we could just mount it right on the back of here. My little breaker that I'll show you guys in a little bit, I think we'll mount it right on the back of here. So it's not that far from either or, and it'll be right in the middle of each. So what we'll do is this. I'm going to take this wire, run it from the back. So it's gonna be right here. So run it from the front of the board to back and under. And then about like halfway up. So cut it about here. Okay, so there's our little breaker wire. Now what we need to do is extend these. So we need to extend these wires using this. Extend this all the way over to the back of the board so they'll hook up to the push to start and the ignition kill switch. And then later on we can always mess with the auxiliary ones like the fuel, the water, the fan, and the accessory. So that's what I'm going to do right now, is work on that. So I'm going to cut this open, splice these wires up, and then measure them out. Okay guys, so I have this basically pre-wired, all set, ready to go into the car. So here we have our ground to our light. The power wire for the light is plugged into here, wraps around here to this yellow fuse, and that goes to the ignition kill switch. So basically what will happen is if I turn the switch on, the light will go on, and when I turn it off, the light will go off. The reason why we have that fuse here is just in case if the light was going to burn out or anything, it would just burn out the fuse and we would just have to replace the fuse. It makes things a lot simpler. Okay, now we have the black and white wire coming from the ignition switch. So the ignition switch being this is coming from here. So the black and white wire, this one. So the other end of this, so the other connector, the female piece, will be the where we'll be splicing actually into. So I already cut the other piece off of the other end, but it's still connected to the car, obviously. So, like I said, if this focuses, we have red and white, black and yellow, black and white, green and blue. So, this is the black and white wire. It's connected to the ignition switch here, and then that's actually going to be rerouted also to the push start button right here. So black and white wire here, reroute here to the push to start. Okay, simple. Now, all these other wires back here are our power unit wires, so they're just getting jumped from each one to supply the power. And then what we'll do is we will grab this guy right here, our 20 amp junction, and we'll wire this wire here to give it full power from the red and white wire coming off of here. So that's how we will get power. Okay, then our next wire here. So when I pull this one up, I'm trying to make this so you guys understand. So we did the black and white wire already, this guy right here. Now we have these two that are connected to the other side of the push to start right here. We have the black and yellow, so yellow's the starter, and then black and green. So those are those two. All those do is just both go on one side of the starter, or the push to start button. Then our last one, for right now, obviously I can put 3 more, like the fuel pump, the water pump, and the fan, the electric fan. But I'm not doing that right now. I'm just getting this just to start. So this is our accessories one. It goes on the accessory switch all the way in the back, right here. And that will be like to turn, all I have to do is flip the switch and I can turn on the lights, the stereo, whatever that I need to. And yeah, that's about it. So yep, so basically we're going to put this in tomorrow, get everything hooked up and start it up tomorrow. So, alright guys, enjoy it.
Starter side. Okay, that's ignition. Yeah, put one more on that. Nah, fuck that. We'll just go on this side. So it's the same power regardless. Phillips. Never mind. I can use it for that hit. The switches are all turning and shit. It's weird. It's like you gotta tighten them down. Which isn't really that hard. You just use like a fucking wrench or a pair of pliers. Alright. Good, connect the battery.
You ready for this?
Let's do the crazy shit.
Let's do
Videotape, bro. This is either when you start burning wires or everything just goes nice.
Where's the fire extinguisher, Jeremy?
Yo, we gotta get it out of Mark's car. I got one, yeah. I got one.
This fucking brick. Right. But shit's getting real finally.
Here we go.
Yep.
It's not fully on, hold on.
Nope, it's not fully on. Not yet. I'll let him come over here and see it too.
Alright, it's on.
I'll wait. Alright, so this is a big old jumbled mess, but we shouldn't see any arcing problems. We'll be okay.
Hope not.
Alright, you ready?
No.
Bam! We got dash.
Yo,
we
this
got
is-
the dash.
No way.
Wait, you need the clutch in?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Oh shit!